Missing someone.
And so the long, arduous journey began. There were paper cuts, there were crinkly wrapping, and worst of all, brace yourselves, there may have been rips leading to exposed gift corners. Oh no! Okay, a tad dramatic, but felt very much true. Hello, it's me Flora, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I had a volunteering job for a few weeks where I wrapped presents at a fairly busy shopping centre during Christmas. Afterwards, I felt pretty proud of myself for wrapping so many presents in a rather short span of time, and with, dare I say, quite accurate precision. However, this clip you are seeing was in fact 9 minutes long, and it wasn't even for a round-shaped present. It was quite simply a stack of canvas paintings I did for my friend's birthday, which was very much rectangular, so I really do not understand why it took me 9 minutes. Nonetheless, I wrapped it in this paper that I decorated myself to add a more personalized touch, and it turned out okay. This video is going to be adventures in gifting, specifically DIYs. In recent years, most of the gifts to my friends have all been DIYs, and I admit some of them are questionable in skill and aesthetics, but I try to make all of them as personalized and as meaningful as possible. So, without further ado, gift idea art. Giving someone a piece of artwork, whether it's something that you created, bought it from their favorite artist, or found it at a Vinnie's, is very cool in my opinion. There's something about art that seems to radiate life. In this specific gift, I tried to paint a collection of sorts. I really liked how the cool blue looked next to the cool red, so I figured might as well make some mini paintings and pray to the acrylic paint gods that they looked okay. Something I've also been doing recently is decorating the wrapping paper to either match the person I'm giving it to or match the aesthetics of the present. Although wrapping paper isn't always necessary and there are ways to conceal presents more sustainably, I'll try to make a video on this topic later, I definitely believe that wrapping paper elevates the gift. If you need to use wrapping paper, get a really plain one and spice it up yourself, because that way you won't be restricted on what kind of gifts that wrapping paper is required for. You know, like some wrapping papers say like happy birthday or happy holidays on them, and then you can't use it for different occasions. I usually just get really plain, solid colored wrapping paper, so then I can paint on it, maybe add some stickers and washi tape and really spice it up, and it's just more fun for me and hopefully it looks really cool for them. I was scrolling on Pinterest trying to find some gift inspiration for gifts to my teachers because I'll be leaving school really soon, so I wanted to give them something special to say thanks. My teachers aren't my best friends, so obviously I have no idea what they'd want, thus I tried to make the gifts all subject related while not being too cheesy and pun related. Although I do like a good cheesy pun, they might not enjoy it as much. The thing I'm showing you on screen is a succulent arrangement for my biology teacher, because I assume she'd probably have a good chance of taking care of it. For this specific arrangement, you will need a pink flamingo pot. This one had no drainage hole, which isn't ideal, but also as long as you don't overwater it, it's fine. It just means that I don't need to buy a saucer to match the pot. You'll also need some succulents. I picked these off some existing ones I had. Small pebbles. I found a 700-gram container of these tiny black pebbles in the discount section of IKEA for $2. You'll also need soil suitable for succulents. I ran out of succulent soils, so I just used regular potting mix and added in some rocks and bits of gravel so that there wouldn't be a lot of water retention. If you already have succulents at home that you are willing to spare, this gift is relatively inexpensive to make. Usually arrangements of this size can be around $20 or even $30, but with a DIY version, my total was approximately $5. First, I collected some larger stones from my yard and placed them at the bottom of the pot until the base can't be seen anymore. Afterwards, I tried my best not to make a mess while pouring in the soil. I filled it up quite full, leaving around 1 centimeter below the brim of the pot. the arranging part begins. I carefully place the taller succulents near the neck of the flamingo and smaller ones in the front of those to create more dimension. The height and shape differences make the succulent arrangement feel more alive, in my opinion. Although placing succulents fairly close together might help them stand up, I tried to leave some breathing space for the eyes and didn't fill the entire pot with baby succulents, since it might be hard to do maintenance on the arrangement once the bigger ones outgrow the pot. Once you've arranged it how you want it to be arranged, you can get those pebbles from earlier and sprinkle them on top and in the crevices. This step is kind of optional. All it does is just make it look a little bit more professional and tied in, and weighs it down a little bit so that nothing will wobble too much. The succulents I used in order of tallest to shortest are Panda Plant or Kalanchoe tomentosa, Jellybean Succulent or Sedum robrinticum, Hobbit Jade or Crassula ovata Hobbit, Silver Stonecrop or Sedum trelacea, Blue Pearl or Graptosedum Francesco Baldi. Please correct me if I got any of the pronunciation or the names wrong. I tried my best to identify them, but there's only so much space in my memory for the thousands of different succulents and countless varieties. Before placing any arrangement or any new plants inside with other houseplants, I usually set them aside to quarantine in a different room. In this case, my shared study/office space, to be safe because the soil might have brought in pests or the plants are carrying a disease that I definitely don't want to deal with for my other plants. As well, I try not to water the plants right away after placing them in soil, since most of these cuttings didn't have roots, and I wanted to give them time for the open cutting wounds to callus over before watering, so there's less chance of root rot happening. Apologies if this video wasn't as structured. I try to make it more casual and as if you're making it or wrapping the presents with me. I'll be making a full DIY gifts video someday soon, so turn on post notifications to get notified every time I upload. If you don't know where the bell button is, it appears after you have clicked subscribe, so please do that if you want to. I have a goal of hitting 100 subs by the end of the year because I have a fun video I want to make for that. Anywho, comment down below any feedback or suggestions for things to do or what you enjoyed watching most. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day. See you soon. Bye!